Prime Minister, Governor of Bali, Leader of the Australian Opposition, Foreign Ministers, other special guests, my fellow Australians, our friends from Indonesia and from many other countries. 10 years ago, 20 million Australians, in a sense, extended their arms of comfort to those who had lost so much on that terrible night and who were in other painful ways victims of a foul and evil act of mindless terrorism that could draw no proper comfort or support from any religious or ideological belief. And today, a decade on, we renew that offer of comfort and compassion and struggle to understand the continuing pain that so many of you must feel. That terrible night and the days that followed tested the character of our nation, Australia, and it passed that character test with flying colours. We saw in those days those two great qualities that our nation has: strength, but also tenderness. The gentle efficiency of those who medically evacuated in 37 hours 66 badly injured people. And those who were responsible for this terrible deed may have hoped a number of things. They may have hoped that they would have driven Indonesia and Australia further apart. Instead of that, they brought Indonesia and Australia closer together. Within minutes of the explosions taking place, the Commissioner of the Australian Federal Police was in touch with you, sir, then in charge of the Indonesian police detachment. And in the days and weeks that followed, the cooperation between Australian and Indonesian police meant that those responsible for this terrible act were brought to justice. And it is right, amid all the other reflections today, to express our gratitude to the police and intelligence services of Australia and Indonesia and many other countries that tracked down and brought to justice those who had murdered your loved ones and left so many of you wounded and badly burnt. I salute, as an Australian who drew enormous pride at the time from the cooperative effort of all our agencies, I salute the Australian spirit that came through at the time. But I also salute the determination of people from different countries and different faiths to unite in the fight against terrorism. If there can be a legacy other than the sadness associated with these events, if there can be a legacy, it is the belief and the knowledge that as the years have gone by, the cooperation between our intelligence services has reduced, but of course never eliminated, the threat of terrorism. And it is proper, as the Prime Minister has said and the Governor has said and the Foreign Minister has said, at a time like this, to unite in our determination to oppose terrorism. Those who did these evil things would have hoped to have divided Indonesia and Australia. They would have liked to have divided Islam and Christianity and Judaism and Buddhism and other religions. But they failed in that as well, because out of this terrible deed came the interfaith dialogue, which allowed regional religious leaders to focus on what our religions have in common. And one thing they have in common is an abhorrence of violence, an abhorrence of murder, and a desire for peace and cooperation. Can I just finally say to all of those who have come here today with very heavy hearts and with a sad recollection of the loss of loved ones and a change in their lives that can never be turned back, the compassion felt by your fellow Australians all those years ago remains in a different form, but you are not forgotten. Your loss is not forgotten, and the great memorial of those who you lost is to be found in the determination of the young of Australia to keep coming to Bali, to keep enjoying the hospitality of the Balinese people and to retain and build further the friendship between the people of Australia and the people of Indonesia. Thank you.